without making any changes, just beginning to notice as the rib cage inflates with each inhale, and with each exhale, the rib cage softens and maybe the belly pulls a little closer to the spine. Taking a nice deep inhale, really filling the body. As you exhale, really allowing yourself to soften. We tend to move through this life with a lot of activity, and a lot of our actions are geared toward achievement. And while this is all a beautiful practice of being a human, perhaps we can take this time to begin to receive and yield into the earth below us, and yield into our bodies as they work for us. Hi, Mama Karen. Just taking a moment in stillness to just watch your body, listen to your body, and yield to the sensations that it feeds you. And then your next inhale, really inflating from the low belly, beginning to fill the entire torso with air as much as you can, holding at the top of your breath. And as you're ready to exhale, letting it all out through the mouth. Taking a deep breath in, filling the low belly, mid belly, upper chest, as much air as possible. And as you exhale, letting the chest fall, the rib cage fall, the belly pull into the spine. Deep breath in, low belly, mid belly, upper chest. And exhaling, chest, mid belly, low belly. Deep inhale. Exhale, falling, yielding, softening. With each breath, inflating, growing higher, taller, fuller. And each exhale, softening, falling, yielding. And seeing if we can begin to invite this breath to sort of lead us through our practice. Yes, our mind often wanders in these times of stillness. And seeing if, as we notice our minds wandering, we can simply bring it back to this breath, back to this body, allowing for a deeper sense of yielding and stillness, and sort of wash over the body. The breath acting almost as a gentle wave, just cleansing, washing away anything that we don't need. And as you're ready, gently open the eyes. And we'll shift into our first posture. So removing anything that's under your seat, I'll just give you kind of a visual here for what we're going to be doing. You place one or two pillows about the third of your mat, lower third, and what we're be doing is finding a supported bridge. So there's kind of a few ways to get into this. It's nothing glamorous, so just kind of finding your way into this as you see fit. You'll want your feet on one side, and you'll want the hips and the sacrum right on top of your pillows or bolster if you have one, and then just lowering yourself down here. And so with this posture, what we really want is for the back of the pelvis to lay on top of the pillows, while the upper shoulders and the chest can fall into the earth, the feet are firmly planted right on the other side of the pillows. Yeah, so even if it's not super high, it still can be really beneficial to sit in this posture, even if you're just using one pillow, as long as you can really allow the hips to release down. Yeah, and you'll want to keep your chin facing up towards the sky here, allowing for the back of the neck to be long. You can either rest your palms right on your rib cage, or you can allow them to fall out to the side, depending on how much space you have. Yeah, if you have your palms on your ribs, just allowing the elbows to extend out so you have some space underneath the armpits here. And as you find this shape, just once again, tuning into your breath. Throughout this time, seeing if even through these transitions, you can really stay internal with your practice. Yeah, I'm here to support you and provide you with some visual cues to sort of anchor where you're going, but seeing if you can allow your attention to continue to drop into your body. As you begin to find some stillness here, just noticing the space in the back of the skull as it rests on the earth below you. Maybe allowing the chin to gently fall into the chest, sort of elongate the back of the neck, the back of the shoulder blades, gently falling into the earth. And the collarbones can fall away from one another as the rib cage expands outward with each inhale and brings you a little closer to the earth with each exhale. You might notice some sensations beginning to stir in the low spine. And seeing if you can simply witness this, allowing the breath to wash through the body. If you're noticing some tension or effort on the inner thighs, feel free to walk your heels out so that they're outside of the toes and so that your knees can fall together a little bit easier. And just allow this to rest. Noticing the sensations, just breathing through it all. I like to think of sensations as gifts from our physical body to our mind. It's all information for us. Can I receive the sensations as gifts of information? Listening a little deeper. Yielding a little deeper. You can allow the pelvis to even fall a little heavier into your support. Taking a deep inhale. Letting it out through the mouth. Just like that again. Deep inhale. Exhale, letting go. Seeing what else you can let go of here. It's a beautiful posture if you're having any headaches, lumbar spine pain, neck pain. If you're feeling ungrounded, this is one of my personal favorites. And as you're ready, simply shifting the heels back in towards the midline if you've kind of knocked them out towards the sides of the mat. And bringing your right knee into your chest. And if you can keep the pelvis nice and heavy here, and let the knee begin to fall towards you. You might notice that the pelvis kind of rocks towards you, and that's totally fine. You can hold on to either the knee here or the back of the hamstring And from here, I'm just simply beginning to rock that right knee side to side. Begin to notice some sensations on the inner hip crease, and sort of this inner space of where the thigh bone meets the pelvis, almost using this movement to massage this inner space. And continuing to use that deep, deep breath. Just a moment of personal exploration here, and finding a place to pause in the center. Once you find some stillness, oops, I have a cat in this room, so sorry if he walks past the screen, maybe. Can extend the left leg long and allow that leg to fall down into the mat to open up the front of the left hip. The foot may or may not fall onto the mat, and that knee may bend again, but just allowing the sort of arc of the front of the left hip here to begin to open, and just gently pulling that right knee into the chest. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, falling into the earth. Deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. And seeing if, rather than feeling the need to pull or push anything, if you can really yield into the earth below you and allow for the weight of the bones and the body to simply fall a little bit deeper, allowing for the hips to open. Deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. Couple more breaths. Noticing if the shoulders have built any tension, if you can let that go. Any tension in the jaw or the face. And simply allowing the body to be soft. And from here, we'll move into a little bit of a sciatic stretch for this large nerve that runs down the back of the leg. If you take your fingers and clasp them behind the hamstring here, you can let the right shin sort of relax for a moment. And from here, you'll flex the right toes back towards the body. And the goal of this is really to keep the right foot as flexed as possible and not to extend the leg fully. So from this really deep flex, you'll begin to reach the heel up towards the sky. And you'll notice when the body starts to speak back to you and tells you to stop. Mine's about here. So I have a nice bend in the leg still. And pausing at this kind of stopping point, I'm just taking a nice breath, sort of noticing this deeper tension that runs down the back of the leg, all the way from kind of the base of the pelvis down through the back of the leg, out through the heel. And from this deeper tension, you can begin to flex and point the foot. You'll notice when you release the flex, that tension sort of releases as well. I'm just sort of allowing for a little nerve flossing to go on here, moving that sciatic nerve gently up and down the back of the leg, just giving it a little bit of attention. Continuing to breathe, and sending a nice wash of air, breath running through the body. I just noticed I was holding some tension in my left foot. So seeing if you can, again, really allow the body to be soft and release. And once you've had enough of that, you can let the grip of the palms be a little bit looser and see if you can extend the leg long just for a moment. Probably is going to come a little bit farther away from the chest. And from here, just allowing the leg to fall down towards the mat and letting the hips stay high. A nice frontal hip opener. You can lay the palms out to the side or back onto the ribs. Taking a few breaths here, just noticing some of the shifting that's beginning to happen in the body. Taking a few deep, deep breaths, feeling that low belly into the mid belly, all the way up into the chest, and then letting the air fall out of the body as you exhale. Taking a couple more breaths here. It's really allowing your awareness to sort of travel through the physical body. And as you're ready, just bringing one foot and then the other back into this bridge shape. You'll slowly bring that left knee into the chest and find the other side. So allowing the pelvis to sort of rock towards you a little bit. And as you grab onto that left shin, just beginning to find a little movement here, of massaging that inner hip crease, and getting to know this space in this moment. We hold a lot of tension in our hips, a lot of emotions, and usually when we're experiencing a lot of change, the hips and the lower spine tend to really hold a lot for us. So see if we can really allow our breath to pass through our body all the way into these tender spaces. Finding a place to pause as you're ready, then extending that right leg long out in front of you, and letting it fall down into the earth. Yeah. Just finding this nice open right hip, this nice fold in the left. And returning to the breath. Where am I holding my body and where can I begin to yield? I let go of unnecessary tension and begin to fall into the earth below me. Allowing your weight to sink a little heavier. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting that right foot be soft, deep inhale. Exhale, shoulders soften, jaw soften. One more deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. And changing the grip of the palms here. Just finding a clasp behind the left hamstring and letting that left shin be nice and released for a moment. And then from this released shape, really flexing that left foot so the toes really pull back towards the body. And from here, reaching through the heel to begin to extend the leg up toward the sky, pausing when you notice that deeper pull. Yeah, so it's just this sensation that runs all the way from the heel, all the way through the back of the calf muscle, back of the hamstring, down into the back of the pelvis. I'm just paying attention to that sensation, just witnessing it, and taking a couple breaths here. It's beautiful. If you have like sciatica or a lot of low back pain in general, this is a really great moment to really just sort of open up some of this space that the nerve fills. And as you're ready, just gently finding little flex and point with your breath. Just noticing it sort of intensifies with the flex. Maybe it releases with the point. Maybe you're experiencing something completely different, and that's also perfectly beautiful. Just living in the sensations of your body for this time. And once you've had enough of that, of allowing the thigh bone to press away so you can extend the leg long, taking a nice deep breath in and nice exhale, and gently allowing that leg to fall back down towards the earth, allowing the front of the pelvis to sort of splay open, just enjoying the sensations that follow. Noticing what has changed. If you'd notice more space in the body, maybe a little more heat, a little more softness, almost allowing your mind to sort of traverse all of these places in our bodies that are speaking back to us. And as you're ready, we're coming out of this back to a seated position. So just taking care as you do this, bringing the feet back to the mat. You can begin to roll over to one side and just allowing yourself to sort of gently come off of the pillows. You'll push yourself up and you'll take one of your pillows now and you'll be placing it, I guess a couple of options here I'll point out. So you can either find a hero's pose by placing a pillow or blanket behind your knees and taking a seat here. We'll be here for a few minutes. So if this is really hard on your knees, you're also welcome to find a cross-legged position, maybe setting something under your hips, but just being a little gentle with yourself here. Yeah, so this just kind of provides a little bit more support. And what you really want is to just make sure that your low spine stays nice and long and supported here. I'm just going to move through our nerve flossing, a little bit of chest openings. I think we could all use a little bit of that right now. So you'll start off until you find your comfortable seat here. Just making sure, once again, that you're really lifting from the tailbone all the way up through the crown of the head, taking the right fingertips and pointing them towards the breastbone here. So you're in this sort of funky little shape. And then you'll flex the palm the opposite way. So you're serving a table, but you're pointing it in front of you. Then you'll flex the palm all the way out in front of you. And from here, leading with the fingertips, you'll begin tracing and carving out the space all the way until about the side of your body, and you'll notice that that begins to speak back to you again. Yeah, so you're pulling and beginning to stretch this beautiful line of nerves that runs all the way from the neck down into the shoulder, out through the arm, through the fingertips. So if that doesn't feel like enough, I'd say first of all, soften your shoulder. You might notice that a little bit more. And then from here, you can begin to kind of trace the nose up on this diagonal and begin to look up towards the upper corner of the room here. And then you can play with it a little bit. Yeah, if you want to find stillness in a place that has a lot of sensation, that is perfect. If you want to do a little nod and just sort of notice this shifting sensations here, you're also welcome to do that. All I ask is that we take a deep inhale together. Exhale, letting the shoulders soften and letting any tension in the face and the jaw soften. Yeah. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, letting things be soft, really letting the fingertips reach away from the body. Deep breath in. Exhale fully. Deep inhale. Exhale, reaching away. Where can you let go inside of this? One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, letting the fingers be the first to come out of it, kind of letting the fingers be soft, and you can draw the chin down to the chest, just allowing the palms to lay on the lap, allowing the chin to be heavy. Let's take a few breaths here. You can notice perhaps some deeper sensations running through that right arm, up into the chest, maybe even into the neck and the skull. Letting that integrate for a moment. And as you're ready, just gently rolling up through the cervical spine, sitting up nice and tall once again. Vertical. Yeah, you even notice here it kind of feels quite different. We'll find the other side. You'll point the left fingertips into the chest this time. Yeah, that funky little shape. Flex the palm first. So you're serving a table in front of you. and then bringing the palm front and beginning to carve out, using the fingertips to really lead you here. Really notice one side is much different than the other. That's great. That's why we do yoga. Yeah. So as you find your edge here, taking a moment to soften the shoulder. Yeah, a lot of us like to sort of press forward with that. Seeing if you can allow the shoulder blade to fall down the body, keeping those fingertips nice and stretched long. From here, if you want a little bit more, really allowing the head to sort of curve up on this diagonal, pulling away, finding that space between the ear and the shoulder tip. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, letting the shoulder drop. Deep inhale. Exhale, softening the jaw, softening the shoulders, even letting the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Really letting the breath fill the body. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Take one more breath in, feeling the body as much as you can. And as you exhale, letting the fingertips soften first, and letting the palm come down to the lap here, and letting the chin fall to the chest. Noticing the sensations of the body that have arrived. Sort of residual tingling that passes through the inner lines of the arms. Maybe some more spaciousness in the chest, in the neck. And as you're ready, gently rolling up through the spine once again, and sort of giving your head a nice little wobble for a moment. Let's do a nice chest opener. I'm just turning to the side so you can see my palms. You'll reach behind you and clasp the fingertips behind, and really allowing the elbows to pull down, palms to pull down. This naturally opens up the chest so the shoulder blades fall down the body. As you find this shape, inhaling to really open up the front of the chest. And then as you exhale, bringing one ear to the shoulder, and just drawing the chin towards the chest, finding some nice neck rolls in one direction, pausing anywhere along the way. This clasp of the palms brings a little bit of an extra tension in the fascia of the neck, so you might notice some deeper pulls in the neck as you're rolling around here. Just pausing when you need, maybe giving a little bit of a nod every so often. Letting the breath really fill the body. As you find a little bit of motion here. And finding your way to the other direction. Once again, really noticing if you need to pause. I usually notice around sort of as I'm allowing my head to fall to the back, this space is really tender for me, right in the space of the front of the neck. Maybe pausing every so often in these spaces to sort of spend a little bit more time in those less comfortable places. Invite a little bit more space, sending a little bit more breath. And an inhale, allowing the head to fall back, reaching up with the heart. And as you exhale, just gently letting go of the fingertips and coming back to a nice tall spine. And just taking a moment to really notice this sort of openness that we've begun to cultivate with these simple movements and exercises. Move into our next posture. This is a really beautiful one. I don't know if there's a name for it, but this is really great if you're having some low back pain, even in your upper spine. I don't know what to call it, so we'll just call it laying down with pillows. So I usually use these two sort of thicker pillows. It depends on your comfort. I've seen people do like a million pillows. That's awesome. But maybe start with two and see how that feels for you. It's super simple. What we're going to do is we're going to be laying down face down on this with a crease of our hips at the edge here. So what this is allowing for is support of the spine and then this really beautiful opening of the sacral area and also the back of the heart. Yeah, so when you find this shape, you'll want to, or you'll notice that your head will fall over the edge of the pillows, depending on the kind of pillows that you're using. So just be mindful, be creative, um, and find something that works for you. I usually just allow my head to fall straight down. I can't talk to you like that, so I'm gonna go sideways to show you. And my feet are just really relaxed behind me, the tops of my feet on the ground, and the tops of my arms are really just falling down. Yeah, so the shoulder blades kind of fall up the spine, up the rib cage. And you can just gently find this space. And you'll notice sort of you might be holding away from the earth a little bit or pressing into it. And that's just our body's natural reaction to something that we don't really know what's going on. So as you arrive in this space, seeing if you can begin to soften your connection with the earth. Taking a deep breath in to fill the entire body. And as you exhale, allowing yourself to soften a little deeper. With each inhale, maybe even noticing this beautiful space in the back of the pelvis can begin to open. As you fill the belly with air, this space begins to lift gently and it begins to fall with each exhale, opening up the back of the body. And the same with the back of the rib cage. As you inhale, you inflate the back of the rib cage. As you exhale, you fall forward, falling down into the earth, noticing if you're pressing away from the earth, and seeing if you can give yourself a little bit more weight. Can I let go a little bit more? Can I yield the weight of my body, the bones of my body? Can I yield them into the earth? It's not so easy to let go. Tend towards action and doing. In these moments, when we're asked to do nothing, our mind begins to run around all over the place. Our body looks for places to hold on to. And seeing if in these moments we can meet those sort of wild wanderings of the mind and the body, we can just notice them and begin to send them breath. Yeah, my hands were holding a little bit of tension. And just noticing if you have places like that in your body and just seeing if you can let them go. Maybe in the back of the neck, maybe in the glutes, the hamstrings, the toes. And I really let go here, giving into a deeper sense of stillness, of non action, letting my body be soft, letting myself simply be. Noticing the sensations in the back of the pelvis, the back of the heart, melting opening, giving yourself down into the earth. Taking a deep breath in to fill the body, letting it out with a sigh. Deep breath in, deep exhale. 2 more breaths here. What else can I let go of? Can I yield just a little bit more? Like stepping out of my own way here. And as you're ready, gently bringing the palms under the shoulders. And as you press your palms into the earth, you can begin to press yourself up and back. And just sending the hips back into a nice child's pose for a moment. Shifting the hips side to side. And then walking yourself up from here. Once again, sitting in this hero's pose. Just enjoying this beautiful open back that we've brought into ourselves. Yeah. You're welcome to leave this here. We'll be using this in a moment. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes for our feet. Um, so if your hips or your knees don't like to sit in this way, you're welcome to sit on a chair or even pop yourself up on your pillows here. That's totally fine. We're just going to take a couple of moments with each of our feet, just giving them a little bit of love. Yeah, so bringing the right foot up closer to you so you can hold on to it. You can also, I just kind of noticed this, if your hips are feeling a little tight, can use this as a nice little support. Yeah, so just taking a moment to just kind of grab onto your foot, give it some nice sort of pressure. We don't touch our feet that often. I guess it depends on who you are. Um, but just giving yourself sort of a nice squeeze, really holding on, and so just tapping into some of that deeper sensation. Our feet are so important. And I've kind of been thinking about them a lot recently, just due to everybody's doing a lot of different things than they're used to. So, and a lot of that means doing things differently on our feet. A lot less walking, maybe a lot more walking. Maybe we're exercising more, exercising less, whatever it is. Something has changed with these. So just giving them a little bit of love. And if you are welcome to, if you have bare feet and you feel comfortable doing this, if you don't, you can just hold on to the toes like this. You can put each finger in between the toes for a moment. Yeah, sort of like a finger clasp like this, but you're doing it with your foot. Then a nice squeeze here. You might have to wiggle your fingers into it. Funny sensation. We don't do this very often. And just taking a moment to roll the wrists and get a little bit of mobility in the toes. Taking a nice deep inhale. Nice exhale. Yeah, and if your mind's kind of wandered out into thinking about how different your activities are and how you miss running or how you are so stoked on your running, take your mind and just put it into your foot for a moment. Yeah, maybe even like check out your foot, and just try to focus for a few breaths on this action that we're doing. Yeah, it's this beautiful moment that we're taking to give back to our body and to connect with ourselves. So just taking a moment, maybe even giving some gratitude to yourself. These feet take us so many places. They really support us in so many ways. And as we sort of just see, there's like 26 bones in each foot. They're so amazing. So many cute little muscles that are so strong and so subtle, and we just can give them a little bit of love. Yeah, so just noticing if anything's tender, maybe poking around a little bit. I like to kind of get my thumbs into the sole of my foot and just taking a moment with it. A little intuitive. Yeah. And once you're ready, you can remove your funny hand grip and just give your Toes, a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe shake out the foot side to side. Feels nice. You can do the same thing with the other foot. Yeah, so starting off by just really grabbing onto the feet. Yeah, our bodies are so resilient and so strong that sometimes they can just use like a good grab. Yeah, so just giving a nice pressure throughout the foot, throughout the ankle, and then as you're ready, finding that similar clasp of the fingers inside of the toes, or just holding on to the tops of the toes, whatever you're comfortable with. And then finding that, and then just giving the wrist a nice roll around. Maybe my mind is thinking about dinner or what movie I'm going to watch tonight. And just taking it back and putting it back in your foot just for a few moments. It doesn't hurt to think about our feet every so often. Yeah, it's quite remarkable. These feet, they're so small, but they hold up our entire body and they allow us to do so many things. 26 bones. Yeah, a lot of mobility, a lot of strength, a lot of power, and a lot of softness. You're noticing any tender spaces. Just giving them a look too. It's kind of like you don't always look at your feet, and you look at them and you're like, oh, it's funny. Yeah. As you're ready, just kind of letting that go, giving it a good shake, a little wiggle of the feet. Maybe just noticing how they might feel a little different now too. Kind of opening up to drawing our attention to our feet is also a really great way to get grounded, especially in this kind of unknown wild time. So me doing some of that in the morning could be good as well. We'll move into a supported Supta Baddha Konasana, supported butterfly, a little heart opener. Another personal favorite, especially during this time. It feels so good on the body. So you'll have your same big pillows that you're using for your laying down with pillows posture that we just invented. And you'll also want to take your two other pillows if you have them available. Again, you'll kind of find what works for you. I usually fold two pillows in half to put them under my knees. So we're doing a butterfly pose, which is the knees bent and open with the base of the spine right up against your other support here. You want to put some support underneath your knees so that they have enough kind of some more stability, more support. Yeah, so again, you'll find what works for you in your home. Maybe that's like a couch pillow or some books or whatever works for you. Maybe you have super open, flexible hips and this feels like no big deal. I usually like to add support just because it allows our muscles to be a little bit softer. Yeah, so once you find this shape, you can begin to lower your back over this really beautiful support that we've got for ourselves. And just finding any adjustments you need. Yeah, this might be kind of intense. Maybe we only want one of these pillows. Maybe we need more underneath here, so we fold these a little bit more. It's really up to you. Yeah, and I can't really see you guys very well, so I'm sure you're all beautiful and perfect. But always feel free, I guess, to let me know if things feel confusing. So you want the pelvis to really be sinking into the earth below you. And from here, if you can, sort of allow the shoulders to roll down the back of the body so that the chest opens up a little bit more. And then you can either let the arms once again fall out to the side, or you can bend the elbows. I'm a little bit limited on space, so I've been doing this a lot where I place my palms on my rib cage, which is nice because I still get the spaciousness under the armpits, but I can also feel my breath, which feels really nice to me. But it's up to you. Yeah, so once you are beginning to find this shape, it's kind of settling in here for a little bit of time. You'll begin to just notice the breath in this new shape. Yeah, this really open space in the chest. This very direct way of kind of opening up the heart. And even as we are opening up the front of the body, Seeing if we can draw the attention to the breath in the back of the rib cage. Yeah, as we inhale, the rib cage expands in all dimensions. And as we exhale, it comes closer to the spine, drawing us closer to our center, allowing the pelvis to really fall deeply into the earth, and allowing the inhale to almost pass all the way down through the body, all the way into the base of the pelvis where the bum meets the earth. Yeah. This beautiful arc of breath that passes through us, the hips gently opening and allowing the legs to really fall open. Yeah, we have this support underneath our knees. It allows for the inner thighs to let go of any tension. So seeing if you can really give your body down into the earth. It might take a couple of minutes. Yes, it's a very open position, which is why it can be so powerful. It can sometimes take a little bit of time to really allow ourselves to release into this. Allowing the eyes to come to close if they're not already. And allowing the breath to stay deep and full. And notice the space between the ears, where the skull and the spine meet. This kind of roof of the mouth area. And seeing if this space can really soften and open up, allowing for some spaciousness in the mind. Sort of melt away any thoughts or lingering anxiety. And then letting the mind drop into the body. Allowing the collarbones to fall away and the arm bones to fall heavy. With each deep breath, the ribs and the lungs open and close around the heart. Pumping this beautiful life force through our torso. Sending breath down into the deep belly. Softening the hip creases. Letting the leg bones be heavy. Noticing the feet as they meet the earth, the base of the shape. Really soft here. As we take this opportunity to open up the heart, we can maybe let our minds rest in this space. This beautiful heart space that is perhaps hurting for a lot of us right now. In a really challenging time, and well, we have all of these beautiful practices to sort of help us move through them. Perhaps we can allow this current state of being to begin to transform within us. Yeah, if there's fear, anxiety, or isolation, sort of allows the heart to close. As we rest in this shape, kind of asking our heart to be open with the physical body, and seeing if we can allow this to begin to kind of diffuse into the spiritual and the mental body. And noticing as our attention rests in our hearts, we notice a softness that begins to open up. Within our heart is this beautiful transformative power. If we allow our hearts to stay open, we can allow things to pass through us, You can allow these events to inform us and invite sort of graceful movement into the future. As we sit here, we can acknowledge that we're all doing this together, which is quite wild because we're all in our sweet little apartments. There's something about the choice to open our hearts all together. Something about our choice to connect a little deeper with ourselves, with this deeper space within us. This deeper place of quiet, this deeper soul. This place is a place that rests within each one of us. Allowing our minds to just rest here for a few more breaths. A sweet, soft heart space. Our breath passes through this space, allowing for deeper transformation. A deep inhale through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Just like that again. Maybe letting out a little sound, taking a deep inhale. Sighing it out. Feels so nice. Yeah. And as you're ready, I'm just drawing the palms down to the legs. You can allow the palms to come to the outer edges of the legs to bring the knees together, bringing the feet flat on the earth. And just again, letting yourself over to one side of the sort of pillow bolster you've created that you lay onto one side of the body. I'm just taking a moment here as you're making this transition. We'll just be coming up to sitting to set up for our last posture. So seeing if you can sort of maintain that internal focus as I sort of guide you into this new space. You'll take whatever item you found to tie your legs together. And you'll wrap it around your knees here. If you have access to a wall, that's awesome. If you don't have access to a wall, you're also welcome to use a bed or a chair, or you can even prop your legs up on the pillows that we just had. Yeah, so you want to tie this right above the knees. And you don't have to tie it super tight, but tight enough that it kind of holds your legs together. So what we're going to be doing is allowing for the legs to be elevated without needing to use any muscles of the legs, which is so nice. Yeah, so I'm going to use a wall, but really you just want something to prop your legs up on. It doesn't even have to be that high. If all I have is my stack of pillows, that's also perfect. Yeah, so finding your way over to your wall or whatever you're using, and having about a foot or a foot and a half of space between your seat and this support so that your legs can fall into the wall. Yeah, and we're just going to take our final resting Shavasana here. So you'll notice our immediate sort of instinct is to hold our legs together with our muscles, and with this support of the strap, you can actually allow the muscles of the legs to go completely. It might take a few breaths. You kind of have to trust your legs here for a moment. It's a little counterintuitive. but maybe even shifting the hips side to side, just allowing for the muscles to begin to soften and let go. You can let the palms out on either side with the palms face up. Just bringing your eyes to close once again. And you'll find this new space. Just noticing this practice that we've brought into our bodies. Noticing these shifts that we've kind of cultivated for ourselves. We can kind of allow our minds to follow the breath as it passes through the nose, into the back of the throat, down into the lungs. The lungs as they open around this beautiful heart space. This beautiful, soft heart space. Even in this new posture, this new place that we've rested the body, can we tune into that sweet softness that rests inside of our hearts? Sweet softness that allows us to connect a little deeper with ourselves, allows us to connect a little deeper to all of the different souls and bodies around us. In these interesting times of social distancing, we're still surrounded by life. Surrounded by the life of our own body, this beautiful, intelligent system that holds us. Each and every soul, whether it be a plant, an animal, or our neighbors that we can hear throughout the day, people we pass on the street during our walks. The sweet heart space lies within each and every soul that we pass. As we let our bodies fall deeper into the earth, we can yield into this sweet space. No need to do, simply be. Be with the body, be with the heart. Just a few minutes together. Staying here for as long as you'd like. We'll begin to move towards the end of our practice together. You begin to deepen your breath Sending it into the base of the belly, down into the pelvis, opening up the rib cage, and letting it out with maybe a sigh. As you inhale, really filling the body with air. And as you exhale, really giving your weight down into the earth, letting the ground below you receive you. And begin to draw some movement into the fingers and the toes. Maybe into the wrists. You can slowly bend the knees. Just letting the knees fall into the chest. You have your knees into your chest, and you're just shifting the hips side to side. And keeping your focus soft and internal. Just, drawing your attention to releasing your strap situation here. And taking that away and rolling yourself to one side. Pausing here for a moment once again. Seeing if you can really allow the bones to fall into the earth. Just gently, as easily as you can, pressing into the palms, peeling the spine off of the earth, and finding your way to a closing seat. Just a comfortable place to kind of close this practice together. Letting the pelvis sit nice and heavy, and keeping the eyes closed or soft. Bringing the shoulders up to the ears and letting them fall down the back of the body. It's this shape that we found toward the beginning of our practice. Perhaps feels quite different now. As we notice the breath pass through us, we notice the state of being that we've cultivated, perhaps a bit more quiet, a bit softer. Whatever it may be, sort of enjoying that for a moment. You can bring the palms to the heart center. You can either stack them palm over palm or in prayer if that serves you. Just noticing the breath, the movement underneath the palms as it presses into the body. Taking a moment to really honor this physical body as it has really been, it's been a pal for us as we've moved through this whole life, especially these challenging times. A moment of gratitude for all that it has done for us, and all that it's allowed us to do. Allowing the mind to fall back into that heart space, that sweet, soft space. Connection with the self, and connection with every soul that surrounds us. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, letting it out through the mouth. One more like that. Deep breath in. Letting it go. Letting the chin fall to the chest. Honoring all that has come before us. All of the unknown that is yet to come. And all that is with us in each and every moment. Thank you for a beautiful practice. Namaste.